Sananda and One Who Serves, channeled through James McConnell. Ashira, channeled through Dr. Susan Samarco. June 10, 2015.
Note: these messages were given during our weekly Prepare for Change group in Glendale, Arizona, on May 31, 2015. One Who Serves. Greetings to you. One who serves here. All safe and sound? Tucked back into your physical bodies? We are going to leave here just a little bit to have another one share with you. We will be back in just a little bit here shortly. Sananda. This is Sananda. Always good to be here with you, my brothers and sisters. Always good to be here to share with you as these times continue to move along. As you continue to raise your expectations for those wonderful times and moments that have been spoken of. Yes, it is true, that in each moment now, this is where you are living. It is not that you are living for the future, and it is not certainly that you are dwelling in the past. But you are living in the present moment now. But the present moment now continues to change, continues to move along. You, as the lightworkers, you are the ones here to share and move the light across the planet. You are the ones to bring about all of these changes. To assist all who are working in this endeavor. I speak now of all of those who are lightworkers here, all of that has been called the resistance movements, all of the archangels and angels, the Galactic, the Argarthans, all of those who are here to bring in this grand movement, this grand plan into a continuing existence. You are the ones to bring this about. As your consciousness changes, so too does the world's change. So too does the solar system consciousness change. So too the universe's consciousness change. For you are the Earth. You are the solar system. You are the galaxy. We are all of this. We are the universe. You are one with all that is. Remember that. Because you all came, we all came from that which is the one source, and we all return to the one source once again. In that continuing motion of moving through all the various levels of consciousness, through all the eternal time, you continue to change and to evolve your consciousness until you evolve back to oneness once again. To be the one, that is what you are moving toward, to understand this level of oneness. Disclosure is coming. The event is coming. In many respects the event is already here, or the series of events are already happening, because at many levels the event has already happened and is happening now. It is still going to happen. Because all is one and there is no separation except what the mind has created to be that separation. Trust in yourselves, my brothers and my sisters. Find within yourself that continuing knowing of how you are changing, of how you are evolving. Because one day soon there will be that quantum leap that you have been speaking of. It is destined and it cannot be stopped. It can only be delayed, but the delays are coming near and then now. For all will happen in the twinkling of an eye when those frequencies have reached the level that is necessary to bring this consciousness shift about. And you, my brothers and my sisters, are this consciousness shift. That is my message. I am Sananda. I am always with you. Peace and love be with each of you. One Who Serves. Greetings to you once again. Back here with you again. Not necessarily a message to give you here, but we are here to answer questions along with Ashira, who is standing by. We can assist you in any way we can, for that is what we are here for. Very soon, those of you here will be doing this in a different way, but you will be mentoring to others as those shifts of consciousness occur here. Are there any questions? Question: I am asking questions for a colleague at work. He wants to know what happens with reincarnation. What purpose does it serve, and can we get lost? OWS, my goodness. Do you want the long version or the short version here? Because this is indeed a very complex question here in terms of reincarnation. What is it? What is the purpose? Please understand that a long time ago there was the movement of spirit into various physicalities. The spirit moved into these physical forms and flitted around, played into these various forms. To experience life at the lower dimensional levels, to have this experience, and over a period of time it became so enthralling that it would hold them more and more into these bodies, and at some point they became trapped. So there was the beginning of the death process to be released from this. Previous to this they could just go in and out and free will at any time. But then it becoming trapped, and then there had to be a way to release this, so it brought about the death process. Now of course, once there is the leaving of this body through the death process, there had to be a way to come back, a way to move back. There was this process that was developed over a long time that you now call reincarnation, that brought the spirit back into the bodies. And over a period of time, because there is so much free will in this universe, there was the law of karma. Again, over a long period of time there was a need to come in balance. This is the only reason for karma. It is not as what you have been taught. It is simply a balance. It balances out what has occurred before to continue on the consciousness from the present moment into the connecting future. The reincarnation was in many respects taken over by various beings to control it, but that has been ceased now. It is no longer in existence, and they cannot trap one who is at a higher consciousness level and cannot keep them from exercising their own free will. So that is now passing away because of the shift in consciousness, as all of you are. That is the short version of this. Was this sufficient? Comment: that was a wonderful explanation. Question: my friend also wants to know if quantum mechanics is still useful in this world. And when we move into the next world, will we know our purpose, because it seems that many are searching for purpose in this one. My goodness. Before we move on to answer these questions, Ahira, do you have anything you wish to add here? Ahira: thank you. Brother Moses, what we would say to you is that the soul does not get lost along the path of reincarnation. That was not happening, and of course, at this point in time we are seeing all of these rules change in a great degree. And as all the human body, all the human souls, move into the new direction and into the new golden age, all of these old laws from the 3D world will be shifting. Which is why we have told you that there are mentors coming to help illuminate you. How to control your minds. How to control creation. It will be a very different experience for all of you. We are excited because those things that we have been speaking about over these many months will come to fruition, and you will live in this world in a very different way. Quantum mechanics explains things that are happening in this world today, in this world you see before you, but they will not be quite the same mechanics, if you want to use that word. There will not be the same rules, because this will be a whole new experience for you. I will turn this back to the brothers in One Who Serves. OWS, yes. Very good. Does this answer your question, Moses? Question: I have a question about us becoming mentors. How does the law of free will affect what we mentor? OWS, welcome. What a wonderful question. Yes. You are each one here in what we consider a training process. We are training you, and we are helping you to move along to do what you came to do, your various missions. Yes. You have been partially involved in the mission you came here for, but much of what you have come for is still in the works here. It is still coming. Now, you each one is here to assist in helping others to move along as well. So, when you have moved into the ascension process, you do not need to come along completely. There will be those levels or steps you move through, and as you move through, you experience a sense of moving on, but coming back, and moving on and coming back. That is only on your free will. So, it has been spoken of many times that you may have some R&R time coming up, because you will have earned it. You will have that period of time that will not be consistent with your 3D time. It will be a sense of past, present and future all one, so there is not that movement of time you are used to. You can move back to assist those who are following you that may be lagging behind a little bit, and you will then possibly be the ones who help to mentor them. You will have those who are mentoring to you, and you will mentor others. And they will become the mentors for others, and on and on. Does this make sense to you? Yes. Wonderful. Thank you. Anything to add to this, Ahira? Ahira, we would add, for this one who has just come to this group but who has been reading the transcriptions. We would remind you that it is easy to get excited and to want to share everything when you speak to a person the first time. So we would just add is that what we have advised those in this group to do is to take baby steps and feed spoonfuls. Feed just enough to give the person what they need at that surface, and then wait for the person to come back to you and share more, and come back to you to share more. For this is the way that you bring those along who are awakening. especially with those in your life that you wonder if, in case of free will, they are ready. When they come to you, it isn't free will and they are ready to receive, and in this you are encouraged to give. Does that make sense? Comment: it is perfect and helps me to understand how to communicate with others who may not be fully ready. Would there be any other questions here? Question: yes, I have a question. When we were talking about the higher self and the light mental body, can you help to explain the difference between the two? OWS: yes. We are happy that this question has been asked. We cannot answer it unless it has been asked. So here we'll give you a bit of an understanding here. There is this particular group and there are other groups that have been given or you have been in the position to receive this light mental body. Now, the James was not quite accurate in what he said earlier, that the light mental body was a portion of the higher self. It is almost the opposite of this. There are many levels of your experience into the higher dimensions. These particular levels of your bodies go into many of the higher levels of the dimensions. These are dimensional aspects of yourself. The higher self is not the highest dimension of self, the higher self as you know it, that is. There are many levels of your being beyond your higher self. We know that this is somewhat difficult to understand because you have been taught in various ways that your higher self is the highest part of you and that is also your higher power and all of these things. But you are all the one source. You are all part of the source and you are the source. That is the source of your being. So, the light mental body is a higher part of your being to connect to. That is not to say that you do not call on your higher self and receive whatever can be gotten from that connection, but it is your light mental body that can assist you in many things of the highest levels. Does that make sense to you? Yes. Anything else to add, Ashira? No. Not at this time. Question: let me clarify because I am not sure what you meant. The light mental body is above the higher self? OWS, in some ways, yes. It is very difficult to delineate here because that brings a sense of hierarchy here in this and we try to stay away from this as much as possible. In order for your 3D understanding, you think in terms of higher and lower. Think in terms of connection of your light mental body as a connection to your highest self, you might say. Does this make sense? Question: does it have an aspect beyond higher self? Yes. That is what we are saying here. There are many levels of your higher self and highest self. Question: are the attributes magnified in some way? You could say that, yes. Would there be other questions? Question: I have a question about losing your purpose. I know that there are many people who are searching for a purpose. Do we have multi-purposeful lives? OWS, yes. There are many purposes you come in with. You come in with what is called the blueprint that you move into this life and you follow in many ways. Often you go into many detours but you are always directed back along the path here. As you move through your life plan, you develop different purposes you believe you are here for. You can never become lost from your purpose. You can be disconnected certainly, and this can be disconcerting in many aspects and has been so for many who have experienced this across the entire planet. But you are continuing to move through your plan and your purpose continually changes as your thoughts and your actions bring about those changes. In one moment your purpose can be this and in the next it changes into something else different. The overall plan, let's say your mission to experience, gives you a sense of destiny, you might say, as you move toward that particular destiny, although nothing is ever written in stone. And all can change in the next moment. You see? Anything to add, Ashira? Ashira: yes. Thank you so much. Striving for a sense of purpose in this 3D realm brings about thoughts of duality and polarity. In truth there is never duality or polarity. You are always on task. There is never failure even though it looks to the outside world that there is failure. It may look from the inside out that there is failure. But there is never failure but opportunities for learning. There are always opportunities for experience. And yes, we agree totally, that one comes into this life with points along their life plan where they are to meet a person or that person and do different things along the way. As we have discussed before, there may be point A to point Z, but there is a detour you take along the path, as OWS is also discussing. As the detour takes place, one may get a sense of, oh, I am lost. I am separated. And that happens to basically as they live upon this planet and during their lives. The end game is forgiveness of self. Forgiveness when you think you are off base. Forgiveness when you think you were a failure. Forgiveness when your thought got into this behavior or that, or became infatuated with this person or that. All of these are but the experiences that are the wealth of this world. The wealth of this world. And be gentle with yourselves, especially as you come to the time of the shift. The time of the shift when everyone is peeling back the skins as on an onion and seeing things with different focus. This is important for you to grasp, each of you in this room. Because self-forgiveness is one of the tools for ascension. Self-forgiveness is one of the tools you will be sharing with other people as you help them work through the muck of their lives. And you hear the paths and the pain they have been through, and you share with them that is no longer part of the path. For the path will be growth-oriented. There will be no time for guilts, self-recriminations or self-judgments. It will be time to let all of those go and move into the new world and life of service to all. Does that make sense, dear one? Beautiful. OWS, would there be any further questions here? Question: I have been listening to others talk about their ascension journey. There are a lot of people who say we have to leave the ego behind while others say we need to embrace it. How can you help with this? Yes. The ego as you understand it, is you at various levels. What you would call the negative aspects of the ego and the positive aspects of the ego are all you. So the negative aspects of the ego are connected to the various past lives, the karma and the memories that have been associated with this over the long periods of time. This part of the ego is what you are guided to let go and move beyond. Now, your ego has taken on, in many aspects, a life of its own, a reality of its own. It does not want to let go easily. You need to continue to work at moving on up into the higher levels of consciousness, in your higher chakra areas, so that you are moving out from the negative ego to the more positive aspects. The ego is you that continues on into the higher expressions, the higher dimensions. So you will be taking the ego with you, it is part of you. But the negative aspects will be let go of. Does this make sense here? Anything here, Ashira? Ashira, well, I hear a question in this one's voice here. Let us come at this from a slightly different angle. We agree, of course, with OWS. We do not see this as good or bad. That is not how we view things. And we strive to teach you in the same way. So, remove the language from your thought process. It is part of you and sum total of your experiences that you have had, and even those parts of previous lives are also stored within this area. You will have the opportunity to move forward with the sum total of those experiences. You can hold on to it tightly or you can hold more gently, and that is part of the release. As you move along this process and you see the energy shifts and the world change, you can let go of those things such as attachments to jobs, attachments to old friends, attachments to old talents and experiences, attachments to the 3D, and what you will see is a vision of a new full life and new experiences. You will see from a whole new level the connections not only close to you but all around the world. All of these things will come in ways that will weave you and shape you into the person that you are now becoming. Embrace those parts you want to keep, and you won't need to make decisions about this. It is happening as you evolve. Move away from the thoughts that you have to control this, you have to do this, or you have to do that. One who serves always says, go with the flow. Do not worry, dear one. Don't worry yourselves. We are glad you asked this in this forum, for it is wise for us to share with others who have the same worries and the same questions. Does that make sense? Yes. OWS, yes, and the more you make attempts to control / of the ego, the more difficult it will become. Yes, go with the flow. Would there be any other questions? Question: what can I do with my tool of devotion? Everything has been changed and it doesn't feel right for the role of devotion in my present life. Ashira: yes. I will take this. What we would say to you is the time you set aside to put your mind, your heart, your being into what power is in your life and what is manifesting in your life, that is precious time. Precious time that you use to speak to the creative energy that you are working with and moves in you, as you and through you. Call that whatever you want, for it does not matter what you call it. Those who are coming onto this path from other religious confines, other religious paradigms are often left at this moment in time saying, "What do I do now? Who do I speak with? Who do I share with? Who do I go to?" Again, that devotion is part of what brings you pleasure in life, that is a part that brings you calmness and satisfaction. It is helping you raise your vibration. Take that time. Continue to ask. Continue to pray. Continue to do the devotions. If it is still comfortable devoting your time to gods of your past, make that so. Make that so. If it's something you want to stop and align with something else, why not align with the creative energy throughout creation that you are now recognizing that you are fully and completely? That in itself is worthy of devotions. One who serves. Would you add to this? OWS, no. Very good. That was very succinct here. Would there be any other questions here? Then we will close out and Ahira will close. Shanti. Peace be with you. Be the one. Ahira. It is interesting that one of our brothers brings questions for another, as this is part of his service at this time. Part of his query about why he is, where he is and when he is, and all of these go back to exactly to who you are, where you are and where you are supposed to be at this moment in time. This is not an accident that any of you are in this room at this given moment. It is not an accident that you are hearing these messages, for they are for you and for those you reach out to. It is not an accident that when you are working in the world in your daily jobs or in your daily activities that people are coming up to you, for you are shining, dear beings. You are shining with the new energies that are filling this world. And they are filling your hearts and your beings, and those people are attracted to you. When they take a moment and they step out of their comfort zone and ask you, "Why do you seem so happy?" It is an opportunity to give them a spoonful of information. These are grand times. You will see people breaking out in song. You will see people dancing a little differently in their steps. You may think all of this is a little bit of silliness, and you know what? It is. And we are so glad to see it. Those upon the surface now from Argatha and from different realms of Hollow Earth, those on the surface now from the ships, all of these are waiting for the events to unfold, and these are the days for those. We are so excited to be with you ourselves. Those here fill their room with light and love. And when it was begun, the meditation done by James, there were scores and scores of beings who came into this room and filled it with light and with love. Glad to be part of the celebrations, ceremonies and the messages. Each of you has those who will be going home with you, and you will have messages that you will see in your dreams. We look forward to you hearing and listening. We praise that one who shared her experience of the world seemingly to look very small. All of you are having experiences. Feel free to share them with this group, for this is where you find acceptance and love and encouraged forward. We give thanks for all of this, and we know the weekend in the new advance will be phenomenal. We will share that it will be different than were in the past. We won't give up the secret surprise just yet, but it is an extraordinary experience. All those are welcome. Come and be a part of this amazing group of people. Be it 1, 2, 3 or 4 days. Come and be a part of the amazing beings who will be there to share with you, to speak with you, to talk with you in many different ways. Know and expect and believe the biggest and best, and you will see it manifest before you. We give you thanks, we send you our peace. Namaste. Channeled by James McConnell and Dr. Susan Samarco.